Nagaland Rmsa Teachers Association 2016 batch party media logot kota kurigina state sarkar bra ija tak taikhan laga pay scale implement nakura karne khushi napa janaise. Association laga spokesperson Renbe Moel Paton Kushiki state sarkar bra taikhan ge Supreme Court te review petition charge kurigina thaka dismiss kura pichite pay scale do implement kurubole wada dishe kintu court pa January 15 2026 te petition dismiss kuri dishe olibi sarkar bra ita tak implement nakurigina ase koigina janaise. Association barup lagaise ki sarkar bra court laga judgement de anomalies na hoilibi loopholes bisarabole koshish kuri ase. Association bra sarkar ke court laga directive manibule ro pay scale implement kurigina teachers khan insaf dibole bindi kurise. IB details sai sabo.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all the media fraternity for availing your time for us. In fact, it is very unfortunate for us to come up in this manner. It was never our intention to present ourselves in this way. But due to the situation compulsion, we are seated in front of you again. We represent Rmsa Teachers 2016. First and foremost, I want to make it clear that it has been already 4 years since we win the case on 16 March 2022. Until today, the government is still yet to implement the scale of pay for Rmsa teachers. To give you some nutshell information about our recent development, as you are very much aware about our issues and development, last year we were on the street for almost 3 weeks. But as a responsible teacher, we have kept the agitation in advance since we had received an assurance letter from the government. The assurance letter is here, which clearly stated that soon after the review petition is dismissed, the government will immediately implement the scale of pay. That was the assurance letter we had received on 11 September 2025. Now that the review petition was dismissed on 15 January 2026. After a lapse of now more than 5 months now, the government is still yet to implement or comply the court's directive. We were indeed very much surprised to have learned that even after the judgment from the Supreme Court, the government had forwarded our matter to the Advocate General for further consultation again. But the Advocate General also responded in a positive manner, stating that all the legal remedies has been exhausted and now the government has to comply the court's directive. That was the response received from the Advocate General. Accordingly, the file has gone up to the cabinet again, and out of nowhere, the cabinet are trying to find some anomalies or loopholes in the already judgment passed by the Supreme Court. So what I want to say here is, though we may be we maybe just another person in the crowd or someone maybe sitting in the government position. I think everyone is equal in front of the law, in the eyes of the law. So it is our humble request to the government to comply the court's directive and give the right and justice to the teachers they deserve in order to avoid further aggravation or a tussle between the two parties. Let us try to avoid getting caught in the crossfire again. Lastly, but not the least, the first phase final examination for class 8 and 9 is already out, which is going to start on 24th of this month. So if the situation goes on like this, and if the state government are not complying to the court's directive, I think it will have an adverse effect on the student also. So it is our humble request once again to the government to kindly give the right and justice to the teachers by implementing the scale of pay. It is you who had engaged us, and accordingly we also had had given our service for more than 10 years now. So we are not asking something out of the blue, or we are not asking something which is beyond our reach, but we are just asking the government, begging the government to give the right that is rightfully granted by the Supreme Court.
In addition to what my colleague have also shared, I would like to share some certain points here. As mentioned by my colleagues with regard to the judgment order that was passed by the division bench in the year 2022 on 16 March. Here in this particular judgment, it is clearly stated, let me read out the judgment here. Um, In view of the aforesaid discussion, findings, and decisions, this court holds that the petitioner are entitled for scale of pay at pay band of rupees 9,300 to 34,800 with grade pay of 4,200 per month. Accordingly, it is directed the state respondent to grant such scales of pay to the petitioners forthwith. So that is the judgment that was passed by the division bench on 16 March 2022. And after which, the government filed an SLB in the Supreme Court. And accordingly, in the year 2025, on 22nd of May 2025, the Supreme Court dismissed the special leave petition. And yes, and here in the judgment passed by the Supreme Court on the SLB was, we are not, point number one, we are not inclined to interfere with the impugned judgment and order of the High Court. Hence, the special leave petition is dismissed. Point number two, interim order granted earlier shall stand vacated, pending application, if any, shall dispose of. And that is how the SLB was dismissed. And after the dismissal of the SLB, the government once again filed a review petition. Uh, and accordingly, on 15 January 2026, the particular review petition was also dismissed by the Supreme Court. And here, in the judgment also, application for oral hearing is rejected. The review petition is dismissed in terms of the signed order. Pending applications, if any, shall stand disposed. So here, in the judgment also, which was passed in the year 2022, in the month of March, here it is also clearly stated that the respondents be granted the scale of pay, and not only the to grant the scale of pay, here in the judgment also it is clearly stated that the scales of pay at pay band of rupees 9,300 to 34,800 with grade pay of 4,000 per month or 4,200 per month is also clearly stated here in this particular judgment. So with this, as my colleague have also shared that the government have sought the advice of the Advocate General as in the form of a legal vetting, and the Advocate General have also responded that the government has to comply the judgment order, as all the legal remedies has already been exhausted. But even after the dismissal of this review petition in the month of January, till up to this day, the implementation has not been done. Yes, we have also learned that the department have forwarded the file to the all the stakeholding department. So here, the finance, they have also given a concurrence. The PNR department have also given the concurrence, and following the which the department has forwarded the matter to the cabinet. So what we have also learned is there has been two cabinet sitting regarding our issue so far, but what we have been learning with regard to the cabinet meeting is that with regard to implementation, there has not been any such orders or clearance from the cabinet meetings that was held. So here, I would also like to request the government that we the RMSC teachers have been serving the schools, the society with utmost sincerity for the past 10 years, more than 10 years. And to this day, the government have not been so much, instead of like complying the judgment order, but we have been in the court for more than 6, 7 years now. So here I would like to request the government of Nagaland to kindly look into our issues, consider our demand also, and here accordingly the judgment order is also clearly given. So that is my humble request to the government of Nagaland. Thank you so much. So far, we have not come into a conclusive decision with regarding to issuing a deadline, but we are also discussing in such manner. So we are yet to decide on that, but very soon we may.
Earlier, Sir mentioned that if the government doesn't comply, then the first phase of class 8 and 9 exam might be affected.
That is why my president have just stated. We also have not decided yet as to what course of action to be taken as of now. But right now we are requesting to the government to act on it, to comply the court's directive in order to avoid any eventualities.
But don't you think as teachers we're being a little bit harsh, affecting the students' classes and also their future?
Okay. Yes. We also do not intentionally wish to go about with such actions also. And here we the RMSC teachers are also deprived of our salary for the past 2 months here. And we are also serving without to our utmost sincerity, and we have been serving the duties to the society also without salary for the past 2 months. And here we are requesting the government as uh, as my colleagues have also shared, that the exams are also 1 or 2 weeks ahead of us from now. So we will be very much engaged in the exams also. So in order to avoid any unavoidable circumstances or to affect the exams also, would like to request the government to look into the issue also, as it is not our sole intention to affect such exams, as it will also have a very negative impact on the students' development and in their education also. Thank you.
I would also like to take a point on that. Regarding the, see, we also don't have any intention of taking any drastic measures. But this case is not about just that the review petition was dismissed on January. It's not about that. This case was filed in 2018. And by this year, September, it's going to be 9 years. During the phase of this process also, we have seen 4 or 5 of our members who have not passed away. They were petitioners with us, friends. We also doesn't have any service security on our end. Now the apex court, who even the Supreme Court, who even in Article 71 is mentioned, they even settles the disputes of the vice president and presidents. So they have settled the case through SLP. Now with the review petition also, they have settled that it is clear. You have to follow the judgment. Now for that, the cabinet has to convene how many times for our issue? What is the problem in the judgment? We have doubts and we are very confused about the courts, about the law. Where are we going to get the justice? That is concerning us. Yes, we will do our duties. Last time also we had an agitation, but at the same time, when we go back, again we have to do the double work to recover whatever we have lost. So I think it's high time for us also that we have kept silent for a long time and we have given enough time to the government for taking any steps or to look into our issues. I think they have to take our issue seriously and make it clear that whatever the judgment, whatever it is, our rights should be granted to us. Thank you.
But see, it's been more than 5 months that we have been waiting since the dismissal of the review petition. So we have been patiently waiting that the government will look into our issue by implementing as per the judgment order. So we have been waiting. So like even without salary, also we are waiting. So how long we can wait? I myself also cannot say on that with regard to my members also.
To decide on that, when are you going to have the next meeting?
To decide on that, we will be having a meeting tonight also.